Bama football can take you through so many emotions, have your blood pressure going through the roof, and still end it in the right manner. Coming off of an insane, crazy, unbelievable, miraculous finish at Jordan Hare at Auburn. You're rocking and rolling right now. Hottest show on the streets. Number one form for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have you here on a Monday. Bama now said SEC Championship Week from Atlanta. Mercedes-Benz Stadium this weekend. Bama, Georgia. Batango of Nick Saban and Kirby Smart again. 2 p.m. Central Time kickoff. CBS has the call there on the game. But as always, we bring you the show from the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you on YouTube. Speaking of a channel, you know what time it is. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button right now. Smash subscribe. Click that subscribe button so you miss nothing when it comes down to your Bama football. Share the show to everybody that you know. To all your friends, family members, diehard Bama fans, casual Bama fans, consumers of Tide football. Hit the like button as well. Smash the thumbs up. Like the show. Let's get those likes up right now. Trying to get this thing 15 likes up the gate too. Start the show. Hit that notification bell as well. Daily Super Chat go $100 daily. Super Chat going $100 right there. Appreciate the support from you guys, the Bama Nation. We want you guys being a part of tonight's show. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358 for number to call in. Let your voice be made known. 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. Well, Eli, let's get started here. We were both at Jordan Hare over the weekend. We all know that the Iron Bowl is just different. You never know what truly is going to happen. We all have thoughts. We all have ideas. We all desire different things, but let's just be honest and call a spade a spade. When you look at rivalry games, you truly toss the records out the window because Auburn could look like absolute roadkill, but then it plays Alabama in Jordan Hare, and then it looks like the 1990 Chicago Bulls, and then it looks like the greatest show on turf, St. Louis Rams, and then it looks like the 2000s New England Patriots. I mean, it just happens. You know, you play in these rivalry games and you think that the team that you're playing against is not going to look good, but either they look good or you find the way to keep the opponent in the game to make the game interesting. And that's, of course, what happened in the Iron Bowl. College football fans got treated to another Iron Bowl classic at Pat Dye Field. And what happening, it was crazy. Alabama starts off with the lead, 7-0. Several penalties happened. There were mistakes that took touchdowns off the board. I don't know if the referees were blind or what the case was. There was calls going different ways. I spilled my drink in the press box, Eli. It was interesting. It was a very, very interesting ordeal. But it gets down 24-20. Bama's got the ball in the red zone after Auburn muffs a punt. And, you get down to the 2-yard line. There's a horrible snap. Bama recovers it back at the 31. Then Jaylen Milroe makes a throw, but he throws the ball beyond the line of scrimmage, so that gets called back. You lose more yards. And it's 4th and forever. It's 4th and goal from the 31-yard line. It's like I was hopeful, but at the same time as a realist, I'm like, there's no way that's going to happen, right? And it was 2nd and 26, combined with what happened with Bryce Young 2 years ago, and Jaylen Milroe 4th and 31. Let a prayer happen. He throws it to the back corner of the end zone. Isaiah Bond, like a pogo stick, makes the catch. And the Auburn fans are like, what just happened? The Auburn fans are like, what we've had happen great for us so many times doesn't happen great for us this time. And the Alabama fans are like, we got one? We finally got one? We finally got something like that to happen for us? Wow! Like, the Alabama fans are like, we finally got something like that. It was so good, y'all. Nick Saban in today's press conference saying, I went to church and I said, I said, thank God what could have happened did not happen. Like, Saban goes to church and is like, God, you're the man, first off, but so thankful that what could have happened didn't happen, and we actually got what actually happened. So, Jaylen Milroe adding his name to Iron Bowl history. Jaylen Milroe adding his name to Iron Bowl legendary status. You want to talk about putting the team on your back when they need it most? Milroe completed 16 of 24 passes, 259 yards, rushed for 107 on 18 carries, 2 touchdowns, the biggest stat, no turnovers, and when you needed it, when you had to have it, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't sexy by any ounce of imagination. But when you had to have it, number 4, Milroe got it done. When you had to have it. And I get it. The same Milroe that was benched week 3 of the season. The same Milroe so many people felt like is not the guy, shouldn't be the guy. The same Milroe that betting odds gave a plus 300 shot to even win the starting job, the worst odds of any quarterback on the roster. That Jaylen Milroe gives you a 4th and 31 miracle. Wow. On the plains of Jordan-Hare. And he gets it done with his running mate, Isaiah Bond, as they both etch their name there in stone. And what's awesome here, people, is you go back for a second to the 2019 Iron Bowl, a guy wearing number 17 made his presence felt. That was Jalen Waddle. And an unfortunate losing effort. Jaylen Waddle took a kickoff return for a touchdown that Iron Bowl. I think he had 2 touchdown catches in that Iron Bowl as well, Eli. So that was a 17 that made his presence felt. And then 4 years later, another 17 goes down to Jordan-Hare, this time in a miraculous sense. Isaiah Bond, 5 catches, 75 yards, including the 31-yard game winner, to which he coins the Gravedigger. That's Isaiah Bond, Jaylen Milroe, etching their name in Alabama football folklore forever in terms of the Iron Bowl. Now, going back to, this wasn't pretty. This game was not pretty at all. But Milroe emotionally is like, give me the Heisman Trophy, give me that blank blank, give it to me. And I know immediately as he's in awe of what's happened, a lot of people hit him with, you don't deserve the Heisman, you barely beat a mid, an average Auburn team. You know, all the different stuff came out of what people had to say. Look, this is a very competitive young man that fought in an atmosphere where we all know it's a rivalry game. It's the Iron Bowl. Auburn's going to give their all, and they gave their all. Their fans were going to show up and go crazy, which they did. And despite all of this, Milroe still had a big moment. Despite all of this, Milroe still played a good game and got you the win and was able to have his dad, to Quentin Milroe, in the stands celebrating his son, of whom Quentin Milroe, military veteran, teaching his son how to deal with adversity, how to deal with hard, how to deal with tough times, how to deal with challenges, how to deal with being able to battle through stuff even when it doesn't go your way. And the lessons from dad, son has taken it throughout his life, and in a rivalry game, he puts it on full display, and you win. And you win. I mean, awesome. Because Kevin Steele and this Alabama run defense, it's got to get back right. I mean, you give up 250-plus yards rushing to a team that couldn't throw the ball. Peyton Thorne had, 5 completions? You give up 250-plus yards rushing to a team that couldn't throw the football. And my God, Eli, they ran like the same 2 plays. Whether it was Jarquez Hunter up the middle or design quarterback run, zone read from Peyton Thorne. It was the same 2 plays over and over again, and you couldn't stop it. So this run defense by Kevin Steele, it's got to bounce back. It's got to get right. It's got to get right here for this SEC championship because it got obliterated by Auburn. But for those of you that left Jordan Hare, or for those of you, Bama Nation, that watched the game on TV, you did leave this game with this one thought. This Bama team can win any type of game. It could win in a shootout. We saw that against LSU. It can win in close games. We've seen that all season. It can win pretty. It can win ugly. The opposing team can muck it up a little bit for it. Alabama can hurt itself with self-inflicting mistakes. And this team still finds a way to lank it out. Let all naysayers know and still win. Huge for Alabama football. Huge for Jaylen Milroe. 4th and 31 miracle on the Plains. This one going to Alabama. But we take our break here, folks. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting you started on a Monday. When we get back, we want to hear from you, the Alabama football fans. Light us up. Let us know what you're thinking right after this.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
We're back inside the action here from the break. Number 1 form for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio. Happy to have you all with us. Starting this week, SEC championship game week between Bama and Georgia. Continue hitting the like button, tapping that thumbs up, making this your show right here. Hitting that subscribe button as well. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 daily. Super Chat Go, $100 right there. We appreciate the support from all of you. But we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. The number to call in, 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from. You're live on the show.
Hello?
You're live.
Oh, man. First, I'll just say Link and Roll Tide. And it's 48 hours later, and I still ain't calmed down, man. Just a crazy game.
I mean, it was a crazy game, a crazy atmosphere. Just to see that play happen at the end, and to see, because there were so many moments in this rivalry that kind of play has happened for Auburn. But to see it happen for Alabama, it's like Coach Saban was shocked, the fans shocked, happy, but shocked at the same time, and the fact that it happened for the Alabama program.
Right. I mean, I guess that left corner is our lucky corner in Jordan Hare.
I mean, Isaiah Bond got there and made the play. And what's crazy is, if you go back and you watch that play, Jaylen Milroe had three options there. He had Jermaine Burt in the middle. If he would have looked to his right, Malik Benson was wide open in the right side of the end zone. But he works Isaiah Bond to the left side, and that's where the play was. But he had three guys he could have gone to.
Exactly. I mean, I'm glad it worked out that way. Hopefully, we can take care of business versus Georgia.
Absolutely. Appreciate the call right there. Coming to the show, starting us off on a Monday. We grabbed this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steven, Bill from New York, and I'm feeling good. How about you, man?
Bill, I'm doing great, man. I got home safely from Auburn. I got a chance to see my guy, Jaylen Milroe. What a play. Milroe, Isaiah Bond, what a play. And then, Bill, your guy, Caleb Downs, had two huge plays defensively to hold Auburn to that field goal.
Oh, he's tremendous. Steven, I'll tell you, though, Diana gets some of the credit for this game because she had gone out. I'm watching the game. She comes back. I'm all depressed. She said, "Don't worry about it. We're going to win on the last drive." You know, I told her, "Listen, I'm begging her. Please don't do anything Saturday. Just don't go anywhere. Please, I'm begging her." Right? We'll see what happens. But anyway, you know, I was thinking about this a lot. And Kirby Smart, right? Listen, I don't have a bad word to say about the man. I respect him. I respect what he did for us and Coach Saban, you know, and he seems like a great guy. He's a great defensive mind. But if there was one thing he ever struggled with, when you think about it, it was a running quarterback. Right? It's the only thing that ever gave him a little bit of trouble. Guys like Manziel is a nobody, but we weren't always that great with Kirby against the running quarterback. So, you know, Milroe, he's throwing so well now. If he could open up that running game, if he could just run, they're gonna have to spy him. They're gonna have to put guys, and he's gonna just throw all over him. And we're gonna beat them, Steven. We're gonna march through Georgia. We're gonna beat them. I'm looking at 31-16. Now the defense, I don't know. I don't know what happened to them. Like you said, they're giving up all these yards on the ground. But I really think that's going to be corrected. I really do. Maybe, who knows, maybe Steele was even looking a little bit past Auburn, you know what I mean, worrying about Georgia, because we need it, and I think we're going to do it. Steven, I really think we're going to beat them. How about you?
I like this matchup, Bill, for the reasons you mentioned, but I also like this matchup for this reason also. Kirby Smart was asked a question on Sunday about Dallas Turner. How are you going to defend? How are you going to attack Dallas Turner? How are you going to keep Dallas Turner from getting to Carson Beck, your quarterback? And all the attention, Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, the emergence of Chris Braswell has allowed not only Dallas Turner to be effective, but Chris Braswell himself to be effective. I think Braswell could have a monster game getting after Carson Beck.
Braswell hits like a truck, and Boydby is getting better every game.
He is too.
He really is. And, when you got Tim Smith is making plays. The defense is great. They had a bad day. They did have a bad day against Georgia. But we're going to take them, Stephen. But I'm going to let you go. Roll Tide, everybody. We're going to beat them. We're going to win this game.
Appreciate Bill from New York calling in here on a Monday to the show. And Jess, we got this call right here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How are you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? It's JD Long, man. How you doing? Roll Tide.
JD, I'm doing well, man. I mean, got home from Auburn safely, and just what a play, what a moment. Jaylen Milroe, Isaiah Bond, Alabama football. It wasn't pretty, but you found a way to win anyway.
Hey, tell me about it, Steve. Hey, Steve, what do you think that play going to rank in the Alabama legacy, man, for the Iron Bowl? Just in general. Tua, second 26 to Smitty, Bryce Young, game-winning touchdown to John. What do you think this 4th and 31 play with Jaylen Milroe and Bonds would be ranked for as one of the top Bama plays?
It's got to go in the top 5, JD. I mean, it's got to. Just due to, no one really felt like that was going to happen. And the fact that you watch the play unfold, once again, Milroe could have went with Jermaine Burton. He could have went with Malik Benson. He buys so much time. Isaiah Bond's in the left corner. Milroe puts it right there. That play has got to be in the top 5.
Hey, Steve, what I've been saying about Milroe all season, man, I've been telling everybody before the season started. I told everybody, give Milroe a chance. The guy is special, man. I tell you, this guy, man, he ain't hit his peak yet, Steve. That's the scary thing about it. This guy can probably go down and be one of the best quarterbacks we ever had in Alabama, period. Nobody got speed like him. His accuracy is getting better. I don't think he got to do it just clean up a little few more things. I'm telling you, he can be unstoppable, man. I really feel we can beat Georgia at least by 2 touchdowns.
I feel like the athleticism of Jaylen Milroe, the running ability that he has, gives you the puncher shot at it. The running ability Milroe has gives you the puncher shot. And then with everybody on Georgia's side offensively focused on Dallas Turner, this gives other guys defensively a shot to not only affect Carson Beck, but stop the run. But Jaylen Milroe's athleticism gives you a real shot at this one.
Yeah, I agree, Steve. Last thing, too, what you say was going on with the linebackers? I feel like our linebackers was out of position last week against Auburn. We think that was just Auburn schemed up some special thing we never seen before? Or you think we just, because Lawson was out week before, he just kind of, we got a little rusty?
I think it's the latter. I mean, D-Long missed 2 games coming back from a tricky ankle issue. You can see on the field that D-Long wasn't really 100%. He was probably 90, maybe 95, but you could tell there was still a little bit of hesitance there with him. So another week of getting back stronger. I think Georgia game this week, D-Long will be 100% D-Long. So he'll be So I think it was a bit more of the latter of D-Long back out there because he wanted to be out there. Still wasn't quite 100%. If on top of that, just guys not being keen on the run fits, because the one run that Jarquez Hunter had that was about 56 yards, Kool-Aid was late hitting his gap. So just hit your gap strong.
Right. I agree. I ain't going to hold you up, Steve. Roll Tide, man. I'll call back later on this week.
Appreciate J.D. Long calling in out of Birmingham to the show. And it's like I mentioned, it wasn't a pretty game for Alabama, but they found a way to win. Once again, it's not making an excuse because you got to be on your A game all the time, but it does show you that this team is battle-tested where you can go out there know you didn't perform your best, but still find a way to win the football game. But we take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven. What's up, man? It's Carl from Hartsville. How you doing?
Carl, I'm doing fantastic. Got home safely from the Iron Bowl, but watching that play, 4th and 31 miracle, grave digger, as Isaiah Bond coins it. What a moment.
Unbelievable, man. Let me tell you, this team is unbelievably resilient. I mean, just when you think they've made 18 mistakes in a row or whatever, all of a sudden they just absolutely refuse to quit. You absolutely are going to have to kill these kids for these guys to lose. Now, with that said, moving on to Georgia, Stephen, would you classify – I got a question for you. Would you classify Carson Beck as a pocket passer or a dual-threat quarterback or maybe a hybrid of both?
I would more so classify Carson Beck as a pocket passer. Now, some people are saying he can move a little bit, but from what I'm seeing of him, I would classify him way more as a pocket guy.
Okay, I'm glad you answered the question that way because that's exactly how I would perceive him too. And what I've heard from other experts as well. Now, let me ask you this. When was the last time that you can recall a pure pocket passer beating a Saban defense like this one? I'm not talking about a 3rd and Golding defense. I'm talking about these absolute savages we've got on these outside backers and so on and so forth. Do you remember the last time a true pocket passer?
The last time a true pocket passer did that, I would have to go back to 2010, South Carolina, Stephen Garcia.
Oh, that's a good piece of trivia. That's okay. Well, here's my point, and I'll get off. I know you got your call lines going here, but when I look at Carson Beck, okay, listen, this kid is fantastic. I mean, he's a first-round draft pick in baseball. I mean, he's an unbelievable athlete. But when you really look at this kid, he can move, to your point, but he has not seen the kind of pressure that he is going to see from people of the likes of Lawson, Dallas Turner, the whole gang. He's about to be put under some real pressure. And I don't know, if you look at Alabama, how many pressure-packed situations have these guys been under? Georgia really hasn't been really tested. And I'm telling you, for the first time to be tested the way Beck is going to be tested in this environment, I'm not going to sit here and say the kid's going to crack, but I think it's going to be a significant advantage for Alabama because if we can get 2, 3, maybe even 4 sacks, or like Coach Saban says, 5, hurry, just get this guy off his spot. I think it could be a difference in the whole football game. But those run fits, to your point, and I'm gonna shut up. Those run fits, they got to get straight because Tresman, Marshall, Kool-Aid, some of the times it's like lost in space. They just absolutely get sucked up in the wrong gaps. So anyway, I'll hop off. Thank you so much for what you do, Stephen. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. Carl calling in right there. Appreciate that call to the show. It is going to be an outstanding football game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta this weekend between Bama and Georgia. When we take this call, you're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
My name Brian. I'm from Groveville, Alabama. Roll Tide, my brother.
Doing good, Brian. Happy to have you calling in, man. I mean, what's on your mind right now, Brian?
Man, that game at the end, man. Jaylen Milroe to Isaiah Bond, man, the 007 cat, bro. Man, finally, we got someone to put a dagger on Auburn's heart. All we heard was that kick 6 for 10 long freaking years, man. Now, Auburn going to feel the pain at how we felt all those years ago, bro.
I mean,
so happy, man.
Brian, and I'm sitting here watching this, and as I'm watching this, unfold, and the the ball leaves Jaylen Milroe's hands. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, there's no way this ball's going to be caught. And then the ball's caught. And I'm like, well, there's no way Isaiah Bond got both feet in. And he got both feet in. And then my drink just spills in the press box room. I don't know who cleaned it up, but my drink spilled because I'm like, I'm in a moment of where I have to catch myself because I'm trying to be more media than fan in that moment because I know if I say one word, they're gonna escort me out the room. So I'm literally at a point where I got to catch myself, and thank God I did. But when that ball was caught, and the replay is shown like 80,000 times, and I'm seeing Isaiah Bond get both feet in, I'm like, good God almighty, holy cow, he did it.
That was an NFL-like catch. Remember back in 2008 when the Steelers played the Cardinals? Santonio Holmes did that same type catch.
Yep.
That's what got me in my head. And shades what Bryce Young did to for Ja'Cory Brooks when they set up for the overtime. Man, it just amazing, man. When I saw that, man, I was in my car. I was just getting off work. And I was just like screaming on it, tucking my lungs in my car. All the guys at my job was looking like, man, you saw that too? I was like, heck yeah. I don't even know those guys. I was giving them high fives and hugging them. I was like, yes, man. I don't give a damn. We're going to celebrate this victory because Auburn always be a headache. I call it Walt Disneyland over there in Auburn. They must have went to New Orleans, grabbed some magic, went to Orlando, Florida, grabbed some magic, and took it back to Auburn. And we call it Walt Disneyland. And, bro, and we came back and we said, hey, man, we got some magic too. The Auburn they understood. And I'm going to say this, man. Alabama is battle-tested. Alabama owns Georgia and the Mercedes-Benz, the Georgia Dome. Alabama's shadow looms over the city of Atlanta. Alabama never been beaten since Tebow cried in an SEC championship. So all these Georgia fans who talking all that smack, talking about, oh, it's going to be an easy cakewalk because we had a fight with Auburn. This is the Iron Bowl. Auburn is bringing everything, including that kitchen sink. They would do anything to beat Alabama. We chasing championships. Auburn is chasing us. They can lose every game and play us to the wire. So Georgia fans, this is going to be a war. Y'all want y'all revenge on the SEC championship? Y'all are back-to-back champions. We're hungry. We want our revenge. That defeat in that national championship 2 years ago, it still stings. And we're coming to collect. So, Georgia fans, y'all the wolf on the hill. Y'all is not hungry than a wolf climbing the hill. We coming back to reclaim what's ours. Prepare, Georgia. This is y'all test. Y'all biggest test y'all had all season. It's over. It's time. Alabama has been doubted all season, disrespected. Every team we faced since the Texas game, everybody, we ain't supposed to be here, Steve. We ain't supposed to be here. But look at us now. Another meeting with Georgia. Unfinished business. Let's finish that chapter.
Appreciate Brian calling in right there to the show. I mean, giving us the Rocky Balboa message right there. I don't know if that was Brian or Kyle from Foley, because that's a Kyle from Foley type of call right there. But I appreciate Brian calling in the show. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steve, this is Chris calling out of Dallas. What's going on, man?
I'm doing well, Chris. I can't complain here. I'm going to tell you, got home safely from Auburn. That play, 4th and 31, grave digger, miracle, whatever you want to call it. Wow.
Yeah, man. I was sitting at home, man, and I looked at my wife. I'm like, I couldn't say anything. I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, just all in wow. But I tell you what, man, that last caller there, he make me want to put on some pads and go out this this coming up Saturday, man. I piggyback off what he said, man. You know, it's gonna be a dog fight, man. But I just got two questions for you, man. I know I watched Nick press conference, and maybe I missed it. But anything on Jace McClellan, and I know this kind of off topic a little bit, but I want to know also what's going on with what's going to happen with I forget his name, Jeremy Pruitt for next year. Is it possible him coming back next year?
Well, first and foremost, Jace McClellan. So Jace Jace hurt his foot against Auburn. He's been dealing with a foot injury, a slight foot issue all year. Coach Saban, Coach Saban talked about that. They got like a 48-hour window here where, Saban's trying to make sure that, Jace, can go. He's got him listed as day-to-day. So we'll see how Jace progresses through this week of practice. Very determined young man, very that perseveres a lot, that McClellan does. He's got over 800 yards rushing this season, but tweaked his foot in the Iron Bowl, was seen walking off with crutches there, but Saban's got him listed as day-to-day. We'll keep you guys updated on how he goes about this week of practice. In terms of Jeremy Pruitt, he got hit with the 6-year show cause by the NCAA after what happened with him at Tennessee. So Jeremy Pruitt right now, he is a high school football coach at Plainview High School here in the state of Alabama. I don't know if Pruitt will be able to come back at some point. I'm not sure. But as of right now, he's a high school coach at Plainview.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it, Keys. Roll top. Thanks for my call.
Appreciate Chris. They're calling in from Dallas to the show. We take this call. Here you're live on the show. What's happening? How we feel? And state your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steve, it's Rob from Chicago. Can you hear me?
Doing great, Rob. How are you?
Good. I haven't been with you for a while, but I wanted to chime in a little bit and give you a couple of opinions and then get your opinion on a subject that's been bothering me. So, first of all, as I look at this Georgia game, I think the key to this game is Milroe. I think if we don't have any turnovers from him, that we're going to win. I think the only way that Alabama loses this game is if we create turnovers, because I think we have a better team. I think from a running back standpoint, I hope Chase can go, but quite frankly, I think Jaylen Milroe may be needed more in this game for pass protection. He seems to be the best blocker, and I think to give Milroe a little bit more time, I think we need to see more of him with Roy Dale. I think the two most important players on offense other than Milroe will be Nyblack. There's nobody that can defend him. He's been open 4 or 5 times every game I've seen. Many times he's been overthrown, but I think they need to target him at least 10 times a game because nobody can guard him. And I think Mr. Law as well. I think those two guys could be difference makers against Georgia's defense. I think it's going to be hard just to run directly at them. I think on defense, I gave the defensive line a D for the effort against Auburn. I watched the game twice, and I just focused on the defensive line. That was probably the worst game they played. In particular, and I hate to be negative about players, but I'm really concerned about Lawson. I don't know what his problem is. He seems to be a little slow. I think the other gentleman, the other linebacker, number 30, he's really playing well, and number 17 is horrible. And then number 6, Mr. Key, he needs to do a lot better job of tackling. His first half was awful. But I think if they can clean up those things on defense, they could be better. And I think the other thing they need to do is be ahead going in the fourth quarter, because I'm not convinced that the Georgia quarterback's been tested. And I think him bringing in from behind is going to be very difficult. But my question for you, Steve, is what's going on with the linebackers? Other than Campbell, I'm really concerned about what's going on there. So can you give me kind of your view of what's going on with the other linebackers? Are they injured, or are there some other people that can help step up? Appreciate your thoughts.
Well, with the linebackers there, Rob, first and foremost, Deontay Lawson has missed a couple of games, some games this season due to injuries, ankle issues. And he came back against Auburn. He wanted to play in the Iron Bowl. He was not fully 100%. You could tell, still seemed a bit hesitant when he was moving, trying to cut there on the ankle, but just wanted to play in the game. But you could, like I said, you can tell that he wasn't 100%. In terms of Kendrick Blackshire, I don't know why we haven't seen even more of him, because in matchups where you're going up against teams but are more so run the ball, pound the ball type teams, Blackshire, number 40, would be better suited for that type of football game. So I don't know why he wasn't used more in that one. I don't know why we have not seen more of Justin Jefferson, of a JUCO transfer. Really like that kid. He is fully healthy, not injured at all. And we look at guys like Sean Murphy, former 5-star. I don't know why he is not being used more and getting out there within the action. So none of these linebackers are hurt, with the exception of Lawson, who had ankle issues there. So I don't understand why we're not rotating more guys at that position. But appreciate the call right there coming into the show. We're going to take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen Evans, Robert from Mobile.
Robert, man, doing well. First and foremost, your thoughts on the miracle on the plains, 4th and 31, Gravedigger, Isaiah Bond. What was your thought on that?
I'll tell you, man, once I finally got off the floor after seeing it, it was like maybe we finally lifted the curse in Lee County. Jordan Hare. That place is just a house of horrors. It's like a different dimension when you go in there. Forces just don't. The forces of football just get turned on their heads every time a game is played in that stadium. Even for Georgia too, for that matter. We gotta have to remember Georgia struggled the same way Alabama did. Almost the exact same way. Auburn ran on them for 219 yards. They couldn't throw it in the ocean against Georgia, but they managed to rush for 200 yards. Same with Alabama. Can throw it in the ocean, but rush for 200 yards. So I guess that's some misery loves company. So I guess that's something we can take away from it. The 4th and forever, I call it 4th and forever myself. It was a great play. That was a absolutely perfect pass by Milroe. And no quarterback in the history of football could have thrown that pass any better than he did. That pass was just as perfect as it could be. The other thing I had problems with is, and Saban mentioned this too a couple of times in his interview and on his show afterwards, that 4th and 40, 4th and 31, or however, whatever, 4th and forever, should not have happened, because you had a huge opportunity to run on 3rd down, Jaylen, instead of throwing the ball when you're beyond the line of scrimmage. You had a lot of green grass there, and you didn't take it. Against Georgia, that could cost us big time. Hopefully, he'll look at the tape, he'll look at the film and see, okay, his better option was to run, get as many yards as he could, and turn it into 4th and 10. And with his talent and ability, man, there's a chance you could have gotten into the end zone then with your ability to run. So hopefully he'll look at that and make better decisions at that point. But he overcame it with, again, just an absolute dime. So there's that. Let's not have to worry about again what the committee will do. Everybody saying don't look past. Nobody's looking past Georgia. We know we have to win the game, but it's the only time we get to talk about it before the committee meets, and we can give our opinion on it before it's a done deal. I don't see how they can keep Oregon over us. I think what we need right now is for Oregon to win and beat Washington, and then the committee will have to make a decision on, hey, you got Alabama with a better resume, and they just beat the number 1 team in the nation that hadn't lost in almost 3 years. How are you going to possibly say Oregon's resume is better with a straight face? So that's what the committee hopes, and that's what we need to have the committee forced to do. With a straight face, you're going to put Oregon's win, Oregon over Alabama with the resume that Alabama has versus theirs. If they're honest with themselves, if they're honest brokers, they don't do that. I don't understand why they haven't got Alabama above Oregon now, but they don't do that if Alabama beats Georgia. Because Alabama will have the biggest win of the season, and they would have beaten more top 25 teams than Oregon. That trumps them every time. So we need Oregon to win, and the force committee to make the decision. It'd be great if Florida State lost, but Florida State, Louisville, that's a long shot. And Michigan just has a cakewalk in their championship game, so it's not even worth looking at. And so does Texas. So Oregon is it's our best bet. But again, one good thing about it, I wish Alabama had gotten style points against Auburn. But one good thing, though, is to watch the Auburn fans go from exceeding high to exceeding low in less than 10 seconds, which was just a beautiful thing to watch. And they should have given Teron on that touchdown, and I believe that was a touchdown. The officiating was terrible in the game, except towards the end. When Auburn was trying to goad Alabama players into a fight and try to get a cheap 15-yard penalty on them, I mean, that was just ridiculous. But the officials didn't fall for it. And 007, he calls himself 007, Isaiah Bond, he calls himself 007. With that Michael Irvin nudge, outstanding. I think the guy's ready to take the next level. Hopefully it does for him what 2nd and 26 did for Devontae Smith. I think that level of talent is there for him, so hopefully he makes that leap the way Devontae did. All right, man. Great talking with you.
Absolutely, Robert from Mobile, calling into the show on a Monday. Appreciate him right there. And all of you getting your thoughts in on the show in this call segment. We got a couple of super chats to get to, so let's get it. We got Bill from New York, my man Bill, with a $5 donation, dropping the love there in the bucket. And then we got the president of the whole thing, Wayland, with that $9.99, putting that in there. Appreciate Bill and Wayland helping us out here on the show. We got an awesome call topic here, and this goes to Jaylen Milroe and Caden Proctor, two Alabama players that earned SEC weekly honors after their performance in the Iron Bowl. Jaylen Milroe sharing SEC Offensive Player of the Week honors. Caden Proctor sharing SEC Freshman of the Week honors. Kudos to both guys on the award there, or the awards there, getting the win there over Auburn in the Iron Bowl. But for those of you in the call-in queue, hold on for the next 10 minutes or call back in the next 10 minutes. We definitely want to hear from you. But right now, we're going to go to a break right here, folks. When we get back, we preview, we take you inside the SEC championship game between Bama and Georgia. We talk about it right after this. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh yeah, this. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. We also have new, fresh, exclusive TDA gear you can get right now at Alumni Hall. That's in store or online. Hit that link in the description and search Touchdown Alabama to view all of the available gear. Hurry and get yours before they're sold out.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, here we go. We're rocking and rolling to the action from the break. Number one source here for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA, my man Eli Walker in the production studio. Bama coming off the 27-24 miracle victory on the plains of Jordan-Hare Stadium, Pat Dye Field at Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Now turn its attention to Georgia. SEC Championship in Atlanta this weekend. Continue to hit that thumbs up. Hit the like button. Smash the like button. Make this your show. Your spot here for all things Tide football. The daily Super Chat Go, $100. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 right there. But Eli, topic 2 of the conversation, we've made it. SEC Championship, Alabama, Georgia. Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, doing that teacher-student tango again. I mean, did we think anything different? Did we have an idea that it was going to be something different? That it would not be these two going at it for a 6th time? Nick Saban, 4-1 all-time against Kirby Smart. It's Alabama and Georgia in the SEC Championship game for the 4th time in the Nick Saban era at Alabama. These two faced each other in the 2012 SEC Championship, where Alabama won 32-28. They faced each other in the 2018 SEC Championship, where Alabama won that game. They faced each other in the 2021 SEC Championship. Alabama won that game 41-24. So here we go, the 4th time Alabama, Georgia for the SEC Championship. And, you know, according to Vegas has the Dogs as a 4-point favorite. So here we go again with that whole underdog business for Alabama. Alabama's been the underdog and has usually boded well there for the Crimson Tide. So here we go. Alabama, Georgia, Kirby Smart, Nick Saban. Very intriguing matchup here. And the big thing for Alabama fans in terms of the Crimson Tide defense is how are you going to be able to stop Georgia's receiving duo of tight end Brock Bowers and wide receiver Ladd McConkey. These two are really good. Brock Bowers, top 10 draft pick for next year in the NFL venue. Really good. Ladd McConkey kind of gives you Hunter Renfrow vibes. He can get open. He effortlessly can get open. So how do you defend that? For me, I look at when you talk Brock Bowers, you have to bracket cover him. You got to have 2 guys on him. You can't let Bowers beat you. So you got to have 2 guys on him. You got to put a guy on McConkey that can stay with him, run with him, attach to him like glue, and then play zone coverage across the board, disguise it, make Carson Beck read it, while you're using your defensive tackles and defensive ends, run games to affect him in the pocket. If I'm Kevin Steele, that's kind of what I'm doing. That's just me, though, because you can't let Bowers beat you by himself. Ladd McConkey's good. So you double cover Bowers, bracket coverage. You get one of your best guys to get on McConkey, stay attached to him. You run different tackle in stunts, games, packages like that. You get after Carson Beck. And then for goodness sake, if they're running the football, get in your run fits, have gap control, have eye discipline. Don't let the whole middle of the field be exposed. That's just me if I'm a defensive mind for Alabama playing in this game. But Kirby Smart mentioned, like I said, Sunday, how do you go about neutralizing Dallas Turner? When you look at Alabama's defense, Dallas Turner, who literally took Jaden Daniels out the game a few weeks back when Alabama took on LSU and Bryant Denny. Dallas Turner, who's one of the best, if not the best, pass rush from the country. We're talking 8 sacks, leads the team. I think he leads the SEC as well. Dallas Turner, 12.5 tackles for loss. I think he's got like 12 quarterback hurries. It's a big year for Dallas Turner. And so all the conversation's been on, well, you got to stop Dallas Turner. You got to stop Dallas Turner. You got to hold down Dallas Turner. This is the reason why Dallas is so good, because you also got Chris Braswell. And Braz has 8 sacks, sharing the team lead with Dallas Turner. And Braswell has 8 sacks. One of the best pass rushers in the country. And Braswell has 10.5 tackles for loss. And Braswell's got 5 quarterback hurries, 3 forced fumbles. A defensive touchdown, if you will. Look at how well Braz is playing. You got Justin Aboigbe, who's got, 5 to 6 sacks this year. So everyone's talking Dallas Turner, but the guys around Dallas Turner are affecting the quarterback. I mean, my God, you got Tim Keenan, who leads all defensive linemen for Alabama with, 8 quarterback hurries? And he's the interior nose tackle. So all I'm saying is, the people are saying, well, Georgia's got to neutralize Dallas Turner. There's some other animals there's some other gorillas with banana clips you got to stop too. Not just Dallas. I mean, Dallas is one of them. Got some other gorillas out there that you got to deal with. Kirby Smart here. So, going to be intriguing. But another thing is when you look at Jaylen Milroe. Kirby Smart comparing him to a 2019 NFL MVP, that being Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens. Before the season started, a lot of you as Alabama fans were saying, if you give Milroe a chance, he's like Lamar Jackson. He's got that skill set, bigger than Lamar Jackson, more physical than Lamar Jackson, but the skill set is Lamar Jackson-esque. If that passing game can just get there for Milroe, or the passing game has got there for him. It's gotten there for him. And with the running ability that he already possesses, it's going to be fun. I've stated this. Milroe's athleticism gives you the puncher shot against Georgia. His athleticism. All I want to see, him and Tommy Rees in the room together, working on a game plan that's going to be fire. That's all I want to see all we can practice. Milroe, Tommy Rees in the room together. Bro, what can we do to put up 50 on Georgia? Like, what is going to be our plan? To put up 40-plus on Georgia. So that's going to be my main thing here when you look at Milroe and Tommy Rees having these conversations. But it'll be a good game. It'll be a fun game. Eli, you and I will be at this particular game. I think the whole TDA crew is going to be down there. That's a record in itself. For the first time, the whole TDA crew is going to be down there at the SEC championship game. But we take a break here, folks, from the show. Don't touch that dab. When we get back, we'll return to the phone lines to get your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Light us up. We want to hear more from you after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We are smoothly navigating the car down the highway on the number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio. Eli made it home safe from the Iron Bowl. He got a lot of those great shots that you guys are seeing on our Twitter page. So shouts out to Eli, who did not get ran over this time by a cameraman. Eli, who got the awesome shot of Isaiah Bond celebrating. I think he also got the shot of Terrion Arnold's interception. That did not count, which I'm still waiting for my word from the SEC front office of why that didn't count. Terrion did not step out of bounds. He was in the whole time. So I'm just waiting for the league office in Birmingham to return this email. I want answers. I desire answers here. But gotta show some love to Kenny Heathcock. Let's go with a $5 donation. Dropping that in. Anthony Lang has walked in here as the real pimp with the $100 donation. Here we go. Man, I am so excited. I took the microphone off. Whoa. I am so excited the microphone came down. Whoa. Anthony Lang, $100 donation in the Super Chats. Got the goal. $1 right there. Wow. That's what you call excitement. The pump. The microphone. Hey. That's excitement right there. You know what? We're gonna go to a small break right here. We'll be right back. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh yeah, this. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. We also have new, fresh, exclusive TDA gear you can get right now at Alumni Hall. That's in store or online. Hit that link in the description and search Touchdown Alabama to view all of the available gear. Hurry and get yours before they're sold out. All right, folks, we're back in. We're back in. I mean, so pumped up that literally unplugged the microphone. That's how hyped the Super Chats got me. That's literally how hyped the Super Chats got me just then. So excited for Kenny Heathcock and Anthony Lang, but I literally unplugged the microphone. Thank goodness we got Eli Walker. Eli, if you weren't here, this would be rough. Be real rough. But we're back in live on the hottest show on the streets. So hot we can't even have a microphone. But we're going to go to the phone lines right now. Get your calls brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358 for number to call in. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's up, Steven? It's Isaac from Mobile.
Isaac, man, how are you doing? How are you feeling, man? I mean, what's on your mind right now?
So in regards to the SEC championship game, right? So I feel like I'm a little bit worried. I don't know what's going to be the status of Jace McClellan, but I feel like if he can't go, I know we got other backs, but Jace has been running hard. He's been grinding out some tough yards. He's been kind of helping out the offensive line a little bit. So I'm going to be a little bit concerned if Jace can't go. Hopefully he can. But the other thing, I think Milroe need to be decisive running the ball. I hope he does not get caught up in trying to make too many big plays and, just kind of focusing on only making big plays because, Georgia's not going to make a whole lot of mistakes. They're not going to bust a lot of coverages. They're going to be sound, disciplined. You're going to have to take what they give you. You're going to have to, use your legs, put that pressure on that defense, make them spy you, get a safety down in the box, and then you can do some different things. So I just hope, that he's decisive and, don't get so big play oriented. One more thing I heard somebody mention something about the committee stuff. I do not think that Oregon should win. I believe, this is my theory, if Washington beats Oregon, that gets a 2-loss Oregon out of the way, which should clear space for Bama to move up, right? If Oregon wins, okay, you got a 1-loss Washington and a 1-loss Oregon. Well, that's a toss-up between who you think is the better of the two, right?
That's a good point. That's a good point that you're bringing up there, Isaac. I mean, you want the concrete, get Oregon that second loss and get them completely out of the way.
Right. And some people are even saying, and I agree, even with a 1-loss Georgia, that may not put them out because if they've been viewed as one of the best teams in the country all year, well, the playoffs is supposed to be the top 4 teams, right? So if I'm a committee member and I still think Georgia is one of the 4 best teams, hey, they still get my vote, right? So, but that's just, my thoughts. Appreciate you for taking my call, Steve.
Appreciate Isaac calling in from Mobile, giving his thoughts here on the show on a Monday. 205-448-1358, the number to call in to let your voice be made known on the show. 205-448-1358. As you guys are continuing to get your thoughts in this call segment, we got something here, Eli. Bryce Young, former Alabama quarterback, 2021 Heisman Trophy winner, 2020 national champion, 2-time SEC champion, the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft by the Carolina Panthers. He's looking for a new coach. Frank Reich fired. Gone. The Panthers pink slipping Frank Reich. David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, impatient, billionaire owner, wants stuff done now, wants greatness now, believes Bryce Young is greatness, but wants to get the right coach in there to help him. Who do the Panthers target? Who's out there that Carolina could get to replace Frank Reich? We're going to see. I mean, this is wild. Panthers not having a good year at all. Need an offensive line around Bryce Young. Need some weapons around Bryce Young. And now need an offensive-minded head coach to call these plays that Bryce can run confidently. But Frank Reich out. Gone. Fired by Carolina. We will see what happens. Also, Eli, before we go to break here, 2 new coaches will challenge Coach Saban in the SEC next year. 2 big hires were made on Sunday. Texas A&M brings back Mike Elko to replace Jimbo Fisher. Mike Elko was the defensive coordinator on Fisher's staff at A&M from 2018 to 2021. The last 2 seasons he spent as the head coach at Duke University. So Mike Elko returns to Aggie and then as the head coach. And then Mississippi State hits the home run, bringing in Jeff Lebby, former Ole Miss offensive coordinator under Lane Kiffin. Lebby spent the last 2 years in Oklahoma as the OC under Brent Venables. And now Lebby, at 39 years of age, becomes the head man for Mississippi State. Mississippi State, who had been reeling after the tragic death of Mike Leach, Zach Arnett, that didn't work. Now you bring in Jeff Lebby. This could be very interesting. You got Mike Elko at A&M, Jeff Lebby, Mississippi State. Fun stuff there. Taking our final break here on the show. When we get back, we touch on Jace McClellan, him trying to push through this foot issue to possibly play against Georgia. If he can't go, who does Alabama need to look at that running back position? We tidy things up with that after this.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on? This is Benny Bice. I'm the founder and owner of Touchdown Alabama. And you guys are supporting one of the only independent outlets covering Alabama football today. No other sports, no networks, just Alabama football. Roll Tide Roll.
First off, as we're back here from the break, want to thank all of you, the Bama fans, for all the calls today, super chats today, interaction today, conversations today, energy today. You guys were awesome. We're back rocking and rolling here in my own words. Hottest show on the streets, number one forum for Bama football news. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Final topic here of conversation, Eli. Jace McClellan, we know we got the news. Senior running back for your Crimson Tide with a foot issue, been dealing with it all season, tweaked it, hurt it against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, was seen leaving the game in crutches there. Coach Saban giving the update. He's McClellan day-to-day right now. We'll see how he goes throughout practice this week. Hopefully he'll be able to do enough to be out there on the field and play. McClellan, the Crimson Tide's leading rusher, he's got over 800 yards on the season, had 66 tough yards in the Iron Bowl victory over Auburn. Really does a lot of things for you. He can catch the ball at the backfield. He can run tough between the tackles. He's got speed and space, can pass block. Jace does a lot of things. But if he's not able to go, then you look at Jam Miller and Roydell Williams. Jam, who's been really surging. Jam's playing. I mean, can run the ball off tackle, can go in between the tackles, can hit the perimeter with speed, has that kind of pinball contact balance there where it's hard to bring him down, can catch the ball at the backfield, can pass block. Jam Miller can do a lot. And then you got Roydell Williams, who physical between the tackles, runs very well behind his pads, has shiftiness in open space, can catch the ball out the backfield, can really pass block. So if you don't have Jace going in this game, Jam and Roydell offer you that very capable 1-2 punch if you have to go that route. And then you got Justice Haynes, the Georgia native, the Georgia legacy. His father played at the University of Georgia. Justice Haynes, the pride of Beaufort, Georgia, who had over 7,000 career rushing yards and 95 touchdowns at Beaufort High School. He's had, some good moments this season, especially his performance against, Chattanooga, where he had 2 rushing touchdowns in that game at Bryant-Denny. Could this be a game where Justice is able to run wild on the marquee team of his home state? Could this be the matchup for Haynes? The reason why I ask the question is, you look at Najee Harris and Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs went off against Georgia in the 2018 SEC title game, when he had 8 carries for 83 yards. SEC championship game MVP. Bama won that matchup 35-28. And then Najee Harris, as a freshman, 2018 national championship game off the 17 season, where Najee ran wild in the second half against Georgia. Ripped off some big plays there. Well, here's Justice Haynes, who's about to go to this very same stadium, Mercedes-Benz, Georgia native. Dad played at the University of Georgia. Can Justice have his breakout moment here? Without necessarily a breakout moment, but can Justice have a moment where he really impacts the game? Especially if McClellan's not able to go. I think Jace will go. I think he'll fight his way out there on the field. But in the event that Saban says, you know what? Look at Jam Miller. Look at Cordell Williams. Let's look at Justice Haynes. Could this be the moment where Justice has his big showing? Going to be fun watching the SEC championship game this weekend here, or attending, as I should say, the SEC championship game this weekend here. But as always, Bama fans, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage, entertainment on your favorite program, that being Bama football. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. You got the Android phone for your audio needs. Check us out right here, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'm trying to be back on Wednesday, continuing the conversation. But it's Tide football. As always, showing the love to you, the Bama fans, the Bama Nation, for all that you do. Making this your spot here for all things Tide football. Gotta show some love to my man Eli Walker in the production studio, holding things down. Until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, you guys continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there and getting that schoolwork in. As always, get you your 3 hearty meals a day, your 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.